Good afternoon, Patriots. Constitution Vet here, and welcome back to another day on my channel. Another week down, another week in our continued fight against tyranny. If you can, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and as always, keep supporting the brave patriots down below. It's not just me, it's all of us in this fight. Before we go any further, let's give a huge shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Freedom Hill Coffee Roasters. Check them out. Owned and operated by veterans, Freedom Hill Coffee Roasters create exquisite brews from select beans, offering a wide selection of roasts and merchandise. Apply Constitution Vet for a 10% discount on your next order. Freedom Hill Coffee Roasters, supporting noble causes and brewing excellent coffee for those who love God, family, and country. Without question, Freedom Hill Coffee continues to be the go-to source to help you get through those long, hard days. This video is being made on my Linux Kodachi, so if anything looks a little different, that's why. Throughout the past few videos, I've shown you many ways that you can fight against tyranny, whether that be finding your true north, challenging the dogma, and also defeating any lie that comes your way. In this video, I'll be showing you a historical figure that can serve as the original example of someone who challenged the dogma. But not just any dogma, the most powerful force throughout all of Europe. His name is Martin Luther, and he'll be the focus of today's video. So as always, sit back, relax, grab your drink, and let's get started. October 31st, 1517. Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses on a church door in Wittenberg, Germany. In just a few years, the Catholic Church and the Holy Roman Empire would mark him as a criminal heretic, worthy of death. While not intending to cause massive schisms throughout Europe, Martin Luther's ability to challenge the dogma inspired others to begin questioning their overlords. With this, the Protestant Reformation serves as a major turning point in human history, a moment when the people rose up against tyranny and began thinking for themselves. Serving as a priest and professor of theology at Wittenberg University, Luther's list of arguments against the church were meant to simply spark a conversation. This act of putting your views on a door is something that's still seen today in professors' doors. This act was normal for the time period. One argument in particular dealt with the practice of indulgences. If you paid enough to the church, you increased your chances of getting into heaven. This was one of many issues Luther had with the church, and he could not stomach it any longer. Thanks to the Gutenberg printing press, Luther was able to spread his writings at an alarming rate. As a response, however, the Catholic Church published their own writings, vilifying Martin Luther as the bull of the Antichrist. In like manner, the Holy Roman Empire, which wasn't Holy Roman or an empire, branded Luther as a wanted criminal. Instead of cowering in defeat, Luther's resolve only strengthened. In a direct act of defiance, Luther publicly burned all the church's anti-Luther writings. His students and colleagues watched in shock and amazement. Tried as a criminal in April 1521, Luther stood his ground before the Holy Roman Empire nobles. Here, he was found guilty of heresy and sentenced to death. After this, Luther's allies were able to sneak him out of prison and provide refuge at Wartburg Castle. Here, he would begin translating the Latin Bible into German, during which his supporters would continue to spread his writings throughout Europe. The overall story of Martin Luther is fascinating. It's very easy to find a modern-day comparison. Martin Luther challenging the power, challenging the dogma, daring to air his own views and write his own perspective towards the overlords. Meanwhile, the almighty overlords tried to strike him down. They tried to silence him. They tried to cancel him. They tried to make him gone because he dared challenge their rule. But what happened? The more the power tried to squeeze Luther into submission, the more and more people heard the truth, the more his writings spread throughout Europe. And before you know it, the Protestant Reformation led to a massive schism within the church. Because of this, Catholics and Protestants were separate. This did lead to warfare, but it also led to a monumental shift in the human thought. Now, people realized that they can read the Bible themselves, that they can think for themselves, that they didn't have to trust the all-powerful forces to protect them, to guide them, to teach them. All of a sudden, humanity realized that they have a direct connection to their God, to their faith, and they needed no one in the middle. In closing, Martin Luther's testicular fortitude was like no other. One guy, as flawed as he was able to expose the most powerful force in all of Europe. This force was seen to be perfect and holier than thou, but use his story as encouragement. Look at what he did and realize that one person's simple action of challenging the dogma can change the world and expose the tyrants for who they truly are. Never surrender, never submit. This is Constitution Vet, signing out.